On June 26, 2019, Taisha Silas shot and killed her husband, Justin Silas. She was working at Robertson Elementary School as an educational assistant at the time in Round Rock, Texas. This case will show us something about media coverage before a case is decided, why we should nearly always wait for the evidence to fully come out in a courtroom, and about self-defense and accident claims as well. When she was arrested, headlines would read, Round Rock Elementary School staffer charged in husband shooting, and police confront wife over husband's death. One article went in depth about her employment at a school, contacting representatives to determine whether or not she'd been released or was being paid after her arrest. It was summer and she was entitled to her summer paychecks for the work she'd done in the previous school year, as if that were relevant at all to the situation. They went on to talk about a large gunshot wound on the left side of the husband's neck, details about statements she made to police that focused only on an alleged lie she gave and an admission that she was having an affair without any context at all. Another article, again taking the statements out of context, reporting only what made Tanner appear guilty of murder, implied that the shooting was intentional. In that report, a confrontation by police caused Tanner to recant her statements, supposedly. This report also implies that Tanner also lied about the affair before admitting it, which is untrue. At the same time, very empathetic reports were made about the husband's family trying to get a hold of his life insurance policy in order to fund his funeral. Tanner, not convicted of anything, was the beneficiary and would have to be convicted of an offense related to causing his death before the insurance would pay out to a second beneficiary. Well, it's a really difficult situation, and it's so easy to feel for Silas's family. I have a lot of empathy for them. The law around insurance is clear. Tanner is innocent until a court determines otherwise. In fact, the insurance company could have explained perhaps in a more empathetic fashion. At the time these reports were made, without any context or evidence, it would be easy to be swayed that Tanner was just guilty of murder and let's get to sentencing and get on with it. But in fact, there was much more to it, as there very often is. There was a shooting that day. When police officers arrived at the home, they saw Silas bleeding profusely from a gunshot wound to the neck. He was taken to hospital where he was pronounced dead. She told police it was an accident at first, and then said that Silas was shot during an argument after she aimed the gun and told him twice to stop before shooting him. It would be more than 3 years. Well, Tanner was in custody for a year of that time on $500,000 bond for the matter to get to trial. The jury, hearing all of the evidence, found Tanner not guilty. Her defense was one of self-defense, and since the shooting was admitted, the jury could only acquit if they believed the defense. Prosecutors would respect the verdict, meaning they had no plans of appealing it. Tanner had been ending their 10-year marriage and packed her car the night before the shooting. She testified, as did a number of other witnesses, that in the year prior to the shooting, Silas had become more and more controlling and possessive of her. Friends testified that they were no longer permitted to speak with Tanner. Teachers testified that if Tanner did not answer her phone, he became possessive and controlling and would even come to the school and stand in the doorway of her classroom. Tanner's daughter testified that Silas assaulted her, and she felt she had to keep sharpened pencils throughout her room so that she could protect herself. Despite the arrest affidavit sections taken out of context and reported, Silas actually called police some 6 hours before the shooting. He alleged that Tanner had taken his phone and keys. When police arrived, Tanner had only taken her dog. Yet, Silas's lie to police was never reported. That incident was not reported at all. Tanner was afraid he would kill the dog, who Silas had previously harmed and threatened. Tanner was standing in the bedroom when Silas approached with a handgun. He tried to shut the door, but Silas blocked the door from closing. Tanner was able to, while his arm was in the door, grab the handgun and get to the bathroom. Silas broke open the bathroom door. Tanner tried to escape out the front door. Tanner was opening the door when Silas slammed it shut. Silas grabbed for the gun, but Tanner was able to get the door open again and got out, accidentally shooting Silas in the neck in the process. This was the testimony that needed to be accepted for the jury to acquit, that it was an accidental shooting and self-defense as well. And the same reports that were so aggressive toward Tanner before the trial would simply report the acquittal along with a brief statement from Tanner's lawyer. They reported none of the abuse. None of it. Not a single damn sentence. Sadly, only a few months after her acquittal, Tanner and a 14-year-old passenger in her vehicle, her son, were killed when a speeding driver hit them from behind while they were waiting to make a left turn into a parking lot. Thank you for listening. If you're enjoying these videos and you want to see more, please click the subscribe button and hit those notifications so that you don't miss any uploads. We appreciate you. Thanks.